Good evening, everyone. Welcome out here to the service. So, Wednesday night's discussion, right? So, I choose the topic, and everybody else discusses it, right? It's pretty simple. I'll just moderate and make sure nobody gets too wound up, and y'all are still friends at the end of this. So, I picked a topic. Why I picked this topic, I'm not quite sure. I felt like God wanted me to talk on this, so here I am. But we got 2 words, and I might need more time than we have to discuss this, but we're gonna brush the surface and see if we can get anything out of it. So the 2 words I got from my topic are division or unity. So I am going to start out with, I'm going to write on the whiteboard. One side we're going to do division, one side we're going to do unity. And I want you thinking of practical ways that we can unify as a body, or things that we could be doing that would be causing division, be hindering unity. So first off, I'm going to look at a verse out of Matthew 12:25. And Jesus knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. I'm going to paraphrase that and say every church divided against itself will not stand. And then Ephesians 4:2-4. With all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There's one body and one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. You can keep going. We could read the rest of that verse and it would all apply. But that's the kind of unity that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about everybody looking exactly the same, doing exactly the same. I'm talking about unity in the Spirit and all together in one goal in mind. You know, we were born fighters, and if we're not fighting towards something, we're going to start fighting inside. All right. Now that you got your mind spinning, I'm going to write up there on the board, and I want everybody's input. Don't make fun of my drawing, it's not good. See if I can even spell it right. Alright, what are practical ways we can promote unity in our church? And if it's a long phrase, you can explain yourself and we'll just write it down in a couple words. We all know what you're talking about then. I didn't even write any down myself, so I'm planning on everybody to participate because it's discussion, so. Communication. Probably not right big enough for everybody to see, but
believing the best in people.
simplify that.
Assume good motives.
There you go.
Forbearance.
If I spell it small enough, you can't tell if it's spelled wrong, right?
Love one another. Love one another.
Surely there's more than 3 ways we can create unity in our church as a body of believers.
Grantley just gave you one.
I didn't hear.
Love one another.
Love one another. Good one.
Common goals.
Common goal.
Occupied in the Lord's work. Another way of saying it could be obedient to the word.
I'm stuck in a rut this evening. I'm thinking about my prayer request. And that is, true unity is when we all focus on the Father, right? So wouldn't that be one? God focused, Christ. I mean, I hear that word a lot, Christ-centered, and I don't know, maybe I just beat that drum, but if we're all focused or make that our common goal.
Humility.
Understand our calling. Ephesians 4:1 talks about I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received.
Intentional encouragement.
Example of that one. I got a message from, I was studying it this afternoon, early evening. I got a message from a brother from church that said he was praying for me for my topic, and it just meant a lot to me. It was intentional encouragement. He had to go out of his way to do it, and I really appreciated that.
So, something my mind keeps coming back to, I think it's kind of along the same lines as what Willis was just talking about. But I think basically being personally grounded in the Word is huge in order for a body to work together. And so something, I was kind of thinking along the lines of like biblical personal convictions. I'm not sure how much that goes along with unity, but the reason I thought about it is because I immediately thought about something that causes a division is convictions based on personal preference instead of biblical doctrine. And so I think it also goes the other way, that if we know what we believe, we also can be unified. I don't know how you're gonna, is that, can you go on either side?
Biblical convictions.
And if someone has a conviction in a little different place than what we do, it's a lot it's easy to accept that if you know it's a biblical conviction. It's grounded in the Bible and not a personal preferences. You can respect, me personally, I can respect somebody a lot better if I know that for a fact. Alright, is there anything more under the unity?
I think it kind of goes with the whole biblical conviction thing, with just being flexible and giving and taking. Not pushing my own agenda, I guess.
Support whatever's being done, even if it's not exactly how I think it should be done, or something on that line.
Supporting the church, supporting the Brotherhood. There you go.
I don't want to create disunity here, but I think that a lot of those there have a lot to do with positive thinking. And some people, you don't want to get out too far on a limb, but really, if you're not going to think positive, you're going to be negative. It's kind of like a battery. You got one or the other. And you hook up the positive, usually has some spark. Negative just simply doesn't work too good. But it takes more than just getting positive. But you look at all the various different ones there, it's to do with thinking the best of others. That's positive, that's not negative.
So since you brought that up, so we have unity and we have vision. Can you be right here? Doing neither? Or are you going to be pushing for unity or causing division? Is there any place, middle ground where you're not doing either?
Maybe if you're completely isolated. No
That
contact.
maybe causing unity?
That would be towards division, because people are going to have to decide on how to handle it. Because at this point, you're a drain on everybody.
My personal opinion on that is God designed everything in the world, you name it, whatever it is. You're either, whether it's a plant or a person or you put the word in there, it's either growing or dying. You can't be doing nothing. That's not how the world works. And I think that's something God put in place. There's a reason it's that way. And you can't just hold a middle ground. Alright, so this one, we got a lot of good ones over here. So if you think of one to go under unity, let me know, but let's just have some that could be causing division.
You know, every one of those under your unity has an opposite. We pretty much all go into division. Think about that.
That is true. Lack of communication, assuming poor motives.
I think we're going to put pride at the top of the list.
It's illegal business.
Perhaps envy is next.
What was that?
Perhaps envy is next.
Envy?
Critical spirit.
Discontentment. Gossiping.
Is there supposed to be two E's here? I always just stop with gossip.
Maybe this goes with gossiping, but sowing discord among brethren.
Hatred.
Lack of church attendance.
Not sure what to do with this, but in Luke 12, it talks of Jesus causes division. He said that. I came not to give peace on the earth, I tell you nay, but rather division. And what it means is goodness and pursuing after God will actually bring division if we're not going the same direction. So, but you don't need to put it up there because I don't think it's in the same platform that you're talking about.
God focused on the unity. I think we put self-focused on our division.
So I don't see it on either one of these, and if I'm missing it, say something, but what about being open to the brotherhood, or the lack of being open? I don't know, maybe somebody has an idea for that, but, you know.
That's under communication.
Communication?
You ain't communicating here, are you?
Yeah.
Communication, I don't care if it's workplace, home, wherever it is simply lacking. I'm not a judge, but that's the reality. You go wherever, and so often, you don't get information that you ought to have when you should have it. And that causes problems. Example today, they were falling behind with some stuff. Had they only communicated like they should have, they probably wouldn't have fell behind so much. It could have been dealt with earlier. And it hits various different areas of life. My mind was going towards that verse of esteeming others higher, more highly than yourself. And right along with that, definition of one of the definitions of true success, they say, is helping somebody rise higher than you. I'm not sure how you put that on the board, but that would also create unity.
Put in others first.
Edifying. That would be edifying. Or building up.
One in the list of sowing discord is part of the list of things that God detests or an abomination to him. But another one in that list is a lying tongue. Because that can create distrust.
Is gossiping lying?
Not always. Sometimes it's telling the truth to the wrong person.
That's true.
Unforgiveness causes division.
So with that, and the unity side, there, we could put honesty. I'm not sure if there's really anything that completely would say that there.
Transparency, fellowship.
Yeah. Just being real.
If somebody comes to you and has a concern, or just ask, are we open to that? We gotta figure out anybody else's input.
I think along with that is creating a safe place that if someone talks to you, that it's staying there and not
Not gonna do that. Okay, I don't know. Anybody have any more?
One aspect would be lack of effort would create division. If you just do nothing, it's going to tend towards division. You need to work.
Being tactful can promote unity.
What was that?
Being tactful can promote unity. That would probably be included in communication, a good kind of communication.
judging others falsely. Judging.
Inconsistency. I think you're just trying to come up with words I can't figure out how to write.
About a quick temper.
Quick temper. So this might fall under sowing discord, but what about if we have a brothers meeting or something like that, and you name it, whatever it may be, and you're looking for input from everybody, and people don't say a whole lot, but after the meeting, everybody groups together and one or two people in the same their opinion among each other, and that might fall into sowing discord or something like that, but does that cause division? Or does that cause unity? Just a question. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with talking to people separately, but if you're looking for opinion or whatever, maybe church leaders, you name it, and you group together in your little group, I think that causes division. That's just my opinion. Alright, is there any more, or is that, I think we have a lot of good ones here. So if we focus on this, we don't even have to worry about the division, right? If we're all focused on unity, the division is going to take care of itself. I did have one more paper. When we assume without all the facts, like Keith mentioned on Sunday, I think we cause division there. That could be assuming good motives fall in that category. But so I'm gonna put everybody on the spot a little bit, but I want everybody It doesn't matter. I can't say left or right because not everybody has somebody to their left or right, but I want everybody to stand. You can stand now. I want everybody to look at the person beside them and say something that they appreciate about them. Whatever it may be, I'd like, just say it out loud, it's fine. If other people hear, that's not, don't be ashamed of it. Go ahead. All right, you can be seated. Thank you. A little bit of a team building activity to cause some more unity. Too often we don't hear what somebody appreciates about us. It's always you hear the negative or you don't hear anything at all. So, all right. And Proverbs 16:28 is along with the gossiping one. And I can't remember if I put the exact scripture down in my notes or not. I better look it up. Or if somebody finds it before me, they can read it. Proverbs 16:28.
For a word man, so with strife, a whisperer separates chief friends.
Okay, thank you. And in the NIV version, that's what I have here. A perverse person stirs up conflict, and a gossip separates close friends. Let's keep that to a minimum. That does not help with unity. The more unified we are and operating as a body, the more we're going to be willing to share with each other, right? Something I've been thinking about the last while, and I don't know if this falls in with the topic tonight or if this is just completely off in left field somewhere, I'm not sure. But a question I've had. So, what was our attendance last Sunday? 145. So there was 145 people here. And before the message, Keith, you asked for you had a time for testimony and sharing of whatever God has been doing in people's lives. And was there 3 or 4 people that said something? And it just got me thinking. I was like, of the 145 people, has God only worked in 4 people's lives in the last week or 2 weeks or whatever? Like, it's just something that got me thinking is like, are we too divided that we're too scared of what people are going to say if we say what God's been doing for us? I don't know. It's just a question I had. And then along with that, prayer meeting. Tonight we asked for requests and we got a few, but I just think if God's really been working in our lives and we're unified as a body, that we would be open. And I would like to see, when it comes testimony time, I mean, there's 10 people standing and Keith's like, here, just wait, let this person go. I don't know. It's just something I've been thinking about. If God's really working in our lives and we are on fire for God, won't it show? We should want to talk about it, not be ashamed. And I think if we have more unity, we're not going to be as scared of what people might think or open to talk. I realize that it's reverence in the service and everything and public speaking, but I just think if we're truly on fire for God, that we are going to share. And I personally would like to see more sharing of what God has been doing for everyone.
I'm wondering if exercising that wouldn't help, that it would be more of it and easier to share by practicing it more.
I would agree.
Looking at your division up there, pretty much every one of those are things we're doing. There's a huge one that belongs on that list, and it's silence. Churches die in silence.
Let's go write it on the board.
With what you were just saying about fear, you also go on the division side. What was that? Fear of others, or others and things.
Psalms 133. I'm going to read that. You can turn there if you want to. You don't have to. It's just a verse that stood out to me. Psalms 133:1. So I'm going to read. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And I'm going to, that's all I have. I'd like to leave that with you.